Die Dance Girls, die können nicht nur tanzen. Die können nicht nur tanzen. Wir kommen zum dritten Achtelfinale. Er ist seit vergangener Woche ein PDC-Champion. Er hat die International Darts Open von Riesa gewonnen. Es war sein allererster Erfolg beim Profiverband. Kommt aus Wien, ist ohnehin der erfolgreichste Spieler aus dem deutschsprachigen Raum in der Geschichte. Inzwischen die aktuelle Nummer 14 der Welt. Herzlich willkommen dem Gentle Mensur Suljovic. Es ist das Duell des Weltranglisten 14. gegen die 11. 2012 in Sindelfingen warf er einen neuen Darter und er hat allein in diesem Jahr 2016 3 Pro-Tour-Turniere für sich entscheiden können. Aus Stoke-on-Trent, Ian Diamond White. Und auch den Caller wollen wir herzlich begrüßen. Es ist The Voice, Russ Bray.
Well, we've got one quarter-final set up tonight already at the Happy Bet European Darts Trophy here at the RWE Arena. The first last 8 clash this evening will see the 2-time Euro Tour winner James Wade take on the defending champion here in Mulheim, Michael Smith. 5 Euro Tour titles between the pair of them. We now turn our attentions to the other quarter in the same half of the draw. So the winner of this game will face either Peter Wright or Joe Cullen, who are on next. And this one, for me, of all the games this afternoon, this may be the trickiest one to call. There is very little between them in the odds. There is very little between them in the seedings, in the world rankings, in experience. But Mensur Suljovic, maybe he has been installed as the favourite in this clash with the Diamond Ian White, simply by virtue of the fact that he claimed his first PDC title just a few days ago over in East Germany at the International Darts Open in Riesa. I'm Dan Dawson, Paul Nicholson sat alongside me. Paul, who is going to win this one?
Well, you would think it was going to be Mensur Suljovic. Obviously, he came through 6-0 yesterday, and Ian White is very lucky to be
first
here.
leg, Mensur through first. Game on!
But funny thing, the game of darts sometimes, you get breaks of luck and then you go on a roll. It's a different day to day, but to answer your question, Dan, I'm going with Suljovic by a nose.
Well, it is, as I say, I think it's a very, very difficult one to call this. The bookies have got Suljovic as just the narrow favourite. He is up to number 14 in the world ranking, Suljovic, following his win last weekend on the Euro Tour. But Ian White has started off with 3 perfect darts.
Yep, and yeah, shocking start to the game, I have to admit. And yeah, the standard is just terrible.
Well, Mensur has claimed his first PDC title just last Sunday, a week ago. But Ian White has 7 and 3 this year. And he does edge the head-to-head stats. He's won 3 of their 5 meetings. But perhaps the biggest one, Ian White, he's only ever made the quarterfinals of big TV tournaments. Mensur made 2 big semi-finals last year, and he denied Ian White in one of those quarterfinals at the Players' Championship final in Minehead, the home of World Darts.
Ian White has made a final on the European Tour.
He has. You've got to go back to 2012 for that.
Yeah, it was a while ago, wasn't it? Sindelfingen?
It was the German Darts Masters. He lost to Adrian Lewis, and it was held in Sindelfingen, yes, at the Glasspass,
where we will be next week.
Indeed.
So, yes, it's been a while, but at least he has the experience of knowing he can make European finals. I think...
Oh, hang about. Ball for Suljovic.
Well, that would have made a statement.
And Ian White has got exactly the same shot. You would think it would be the same route as well. Treble 20, treble 17 ball. Not to be, so Suljovic will come back. We'll see the culmination of this leg, and I'll let you continue, Paul. 9 for double 8. Double 8 it is for a hold of throw, 14 darter. Yeah.
Sean, the first
Very good
leg.
stuff from Mensur Suljovic.
Oh, he's lethal on his doubles at
Second
the
leg,
moment.
Ian to
And that is the
first.
difference, really, in Suljovic's game, I think, over the last 2 years. It has to be. His scoring has never really been in question. He's been steady, good, and now probably a really good scorer. But his doubles, he just misses that one less than he used to. And it makes a huge difference. But going back to what we were talking about, Ian White has been in a final before, so he knows how to get there. So I think really a big step for him will be to make it back to a final because it's been a while.
Yeah, and a number of his titles have come since that moment. And the three he's won this year, he's won every final he's been in, including a 6-0 smashing of Michael van Gerwen.
59.
So the way that Ian White has progressed and moved further up the rankings, he's probably a better player now than he was when he made that final in Sindelfingen back in 2012. So if he can give himself an opportunity, then maybe he can claim a first European Tour title.
Yeah, unquestionably a better player now than he's ever been. Titles don't lie, and you don't win 3 titles in a year without being a good player.
Now, Mensur Suljovic, when he won last weekend, he only had to beat 2 seeded players on the way there. Michael van Gerwen and Darryl Gurney, both seeded players in his quarter of the draw, both withdrew because of injury. So Mensur, he saw off Mike Holtz, the host nation qualifier. He saw off Jordi Maywisser, and he saw James Wilson, who's playing some very good darts, but was an unseeded player. The 2 seeded players he beat were Jelle Klaas, and that went to a deciding leg. And then Kim Huybrechts in the final, deciding leg, and Kim missed 7 championship darts. So, look, I'm not going to put an asterisk next to his Euro Tour title. He won it, and he deserved it. But some can be slightly easier paths to glory than others. And this weekend, with only 1 unseeded player left in, that being Joe Cullen, Andy Jenkins was the other unseeded player today, who was knocked out in the opening match by James Wade. There are some big, big names playing some very good darts, and whoever goes and wins this title is going to have to play something very, very special, I feel, and this could be special from Ian White.
He's taking his time. Another one of those. Whoa. It was lying well. Hence the little wink as if to say, come on, Ian. A bit more weight on that dart would have given me a shot at double 12. Because you can't be leaving these for Suljovic anymore. He's just, because of the confidence he's riding at the minute, he thinks he can take everything out.
It's not to be on this particular occasion. So Ian White will look at 48 to level the match up at 1 apiece.
Well, he's probably not going to go for 20 double 14. It's going to be conventional 16 for double. And it's going to be in there.
James Sean, the second leg. Ian White.
It's going at a very deliberate pace this game.
First. Game on.
It's gripping in its own little way. We go back to what we were saying at the start, that can't see much between them. And the proof really has been set that we can't really see anything between them in the first 2 legs.
No, very little at all. And they did have very contrasting routes to this stage of the tournament. They only had to win 1 game because they are seeded players. Mensur, as you mentioned earlier on, saw off Vincent Kampau 6-0. Average 92. It wasn't brilliant from Mensur, but he was always in control of that. And 6-0, probably a fair result, to be honest.
It was a professional performance.
Yeah, exactly. Ian White played Devon Peterson. He looked to be in complete charge of that match. But Devon came back at him, and it was only Devon missing 4 match darts in the deciding leg that meant that Ian White got through. And I hesitate to say it was 4 match darts. It was kind of 1 match dart, because he had 1 at double 16, which would have won him the match. And even though he needed double 16 again, he was throwing at the wrong doubles, because he thought he needed 16 rather than 32. 16. So missed inside on double 8, again on double 4, banged in the double 2, went for a big celebration, 16 scored. Sorry, Devon. Just go back there and watch it and win the match.
Yeah, I'm sure someone's got a really good photograph of Devon looking at Russ Fraser to say, well, haven't I won? And Russ saying, well, actually, no, Devon, you haven't.
Well, to add insult to injury, I noticed the PDC actually uploaded the specific clip to YouTube this morning.
Oh, that's going to help.
Happy viewing, Devon.
Well, there's one guy in the world who can really rip it out of him like he did last night. man this morning. That was Joe Cullen. He's probably the only person to get away with it, and Devon's still smiling. But what I will say is that sometimes, I've got a little story. Last title I won in 2011. I beat Steve Brown in the final in Barnsley for the Eddie Cox Memorial Trophy.
85.
And in the semi-final, something that not a lot of people know, Dave Chisnell missed 7 darts to win that match against me. Sometimes it's just your day.
Yeah. You've got to take your opportunity. If you're given them, there's no point going, oh, well, I should have lost that game, so may as well lose the next one. Just forget about it and move on. You may go on and win a title.
I think we'll be talking about that busted score yesterday, or the miscalculation or miscount of Devon Peterson for some time. But I'll tell you what, if he does it again,
that'll be a third time.
It will be a third time, and it might have to stick after that, I think.
We'll be talking about it a lot if Ian White goes on and wins his first Euro Tour title. It will be always a footnote to his win.
Game shot.
And Mensah, there we go. Headbutt count, ticks over another one. I think we're about 4 for the weekend for Mensah's celebratory headbutt.
Let me just update the counter for the Mensah Suljovic headbutt celebration counter. We're up to 4.
There we go.
I gave it its own hashtag yesterday. Mensah headbutt.
Certainly an idiosyncratic play. See those big puffs of chalk coming out of the darts when they smash into each other. He does. At the end of just an 11-leg game, Mensah looks like he spent 3 days working down a quarry. He is covered in chalk.
He's got a standing order of Maltese rock.
Well, I'll have a word with James Richardson about that.
Well, I did have it confirmed earlier this week that Mensah Suljovic was using brand new darts last week, and Mensah's not the kind of guy to switch a lot. He's had the same setup for years. He may have tweaked his stems now and again from short to medium. But new darts last week. He's kept them this week. I'll tell you what, the way he's going, he is going to keep these in the dark case for a while. But we're back to where we were. Can't separate them. Ian White's got double 16 again for 2-2.
Game shot of the full flag.
And the 12-darter to boot for Ian White.
First. Game on.
Yeah,
no headbutts from Diamond White.
In terms of a sort of consistent level of performance, these two are right up there. You know what you're going to get from these two. You know it's going to be... They are capable of throwing ridiculously big averages. They don't do it as often as some of the top-level elite, but they're currently averaging in the mid-90s, and that's what you expect from these two. And it does mean, you know, one of the reasons why it's very difficult to call which way this game is going to go. And the most important dart in this entire match may be the one at the ball that allowed Mensah to throw first in it, because it would not surprise me if we go all the way to an 11th and deciding leg.
Well, it was instrumental last week in his game against Yellow Classic when he chipped the 121 on the last leg, because there was nothing to separate those two last week.
Is it 11 holes a throw? Is it?
Yeah, something like that. And it could well be the same here. You're right. Ian White, to me, is a 95 to 100 all-the-time average player. And then I look at a lot of statistics when they come through from games, and to see that Mensah Suljovic has got a 99 average is not a surprise. You know, that's his game. He'll probably throw 5 15 darters in a 16.
Just looking at last weekend, 95 average, 98 average, 98 again, then 96.8, then 95 in the final, and it's just all the way through. As Ian White, that's a third maximum for the Diamond, and it just puts some pressure on Suljovic. Neither man down to a finish as yet, but White is waiting to pounce, unless... Like he has 161, he could take it out. Is he going to go for it? He might do.
I think he is, you know.
Loves the bullseye.
Mensah.
Headbutt. Bullseye finish. These soft hit players, they love a bullseye.
Headbutt counter has ticked over. And we're back to Ian Diamond White hitting big scores.
Can't get any bigger.
Well, there was a little pause to just say, is it? Yeah, it is. This game is boiling up.
I believe that 161 is the highest finish we've seen this weekend as well.
Yeah. Vincent Campbell said a 156. I think that was leading the charge.
Wait. Ian White coming down from the 19. So it's 5 perfect darts. Marooned on 5.
He's all right with that because he's 180 odd in front of Suljovic. It's the most important thing at the moment. 9 darts at the moment. It don't seem to happen on the Euro Tour, but it seems to be happening everywhere else.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Ooh, a flyer from Ian White there.
Well, that gets rid of the little two. There's a great recovery.
25.
Only fired in a 12 darter to level it up at 2 apiece. Looking at the 11 darter here for 3 apiece.
It's as if to say, Suljovic, you know, get my throw, Sonny Jim.
But there is pressure, particularly a man who's just taken out 161. 121 looks positively pedestrian, but it matters not because it is an 11 darter. And the diamond levels it up again, and it's 6 consecutive holds of throw. And the averages, well, it's not that they've crept up, they've leapt up over the last 2.5 legs. It's 101 for Mensah, 102.5 for Mensah now. 103 for Ian White.
You'll have to forgive me for my Sonny Jim remark because that's more of a northeast thing. With Ian, it's probably, you're not getting my throw. Duck.
16.
Bud. They're like a bud round Stoke.
We'll not get into the whole bread argument.
No, we're not. Although it is called a cob. Anyway,
Oh,
12,
here we
12,
go.
11. 12, 12, 11 the last 3 legs. That is not just world class, that is mind-bogglingly good. We saw 111.23 average from Jelle Klaasen last night. That is a record in this particular tournament, the Happy Bet European Darts Trophy. I thought initially that would be right up there, maybe top 5 maybe in the European Tour, certainly top 10. Not a chance. Digging through the stats this morning, there are 16 officially recorded averages higher than that on the European Tour, and a 17th, which wasn't officially recorded, but we do have the records, Richie Burnett, 117.98 against Andy Jenkins in Düsseldorf in 2012.
That's some crazy numbers.
A man who could be about to win his tour card back today on the Challenge Tour, Richie Burnett.
Yep, we're keeping updated from the social media to see what happens at the Challenge Tour today. It was a good day yesterday. I really love it when darts is just everywhere.
It is. And these two level pegging in this leg. Ian White looking for a break of throw that he is going to need to overcome Mensah Suljovic.
Big 60 from Suljovic. I just says to Ian White, hold on a minute, I'm hanging on here, you know.
Even a level ton would be dangerous. And he gets it. Last dart again. Last dart 60 for both men.
41.
Well, now, Suljovic, if he doesn't take this out, he's going to have to rely on Ian White missing Shanghai on 20s.
And it's not going to go. And there was an important Shanghai finish from Michael Smith in the previous game that helped him get a break against Robert Thornton. And he managed to get over the line when it's 6-4. Could we be seeing something similar here from Ian White?
82.
That's all right.
Sorry, 88. You only require 120.
Well, 53 looks pretty inviting, but 120 is always a number that the pros like, especially when you hit the 60 first dart. Open bed for tops.
100.
Oh, it's close.
Then you require.
But it isn't there. So now Suljovic, by virtue of leaving that 53, can hold for our 7th holder throw in a row.
Well, in a tight, high-quality game, they are the sort of chances that you may be limited to.
Well, Mensah knows he's in a battle here. Same kind of battle he was in with Klaasen last week. He came out on top there. Will he hit tops to be on top again in this match? Yes, he will. And there's another headbutt.
Well, pressure dart, clutch finish from Mensah Suljovic. Had to survive a dart from Ian White there, but the diamond has hit 4 180s already in this game. Make that 5.
Do you think he's had a word with Jamie Caven about how to hit 180s on this stage? Because he had a barrel load last night.
He did. He hit 8 against Dave Chisnell and still managed to lose the game in a deciding leg. Just couldn't find the treble in the deciding leg. And Mensur. Unlucky.
9's the record, isn't it? Is 9 180s in a match?
9 is the record. I believe that is held by Darryl Gurney and Michael Smith, although Michael Smith's was in a losing cause.
100.
I thought it was bad enough that Jamie hit 8 last night and lost. Michael Smith hit 9 and lost.
I don't think he had a great day on the doubles, as I recall.
Ah, that'll explain it then.
99.
99 for Suljovic. Keeps him interested in this one. Ian White. Looking to hold his throw. Another one of those would be ideal.
81.
You got rid of the 1. You've got to hit it sometime. Might as well just get it out the way.
Now, finishing has been very, very good, but that one of those 2 darts missed by Ian White was it double top for a Shanghai finish to break Mensur Suljovic. Would have been the only break we've seen so far in this game. And so with that 161 that he didn't even need to go for, he just did because he's Mensur, he's what he wants.
Well, we've just seen Suljovic does like the ball. He would have left 156 there, but by missing the ball completely, hasn't left a finish. And a lot of people at home are probably saying he should have gone 18s, me old cocker. But he didn't. He's not going to get a shot to finish now. And Ian White, 12 darts thrown, sitting on tops, is going to get a chance.
99.
Well, tops he wants to make it 8 holes of throw in a row. Decent guide, you would think. That's no help. Double 10, open bed, misses. And now, this is a huge opportunity. Just a few moments ago, Ian White had the chance to break Suljovic and take control of this match. Mensur Suljovic now has the chance to show him how it's done.
Well, these are the kind of shots last week that he was taking with 2. He wasn't hesitating. It was a headbutt celebration after a 60 and a double 10, but this time he's going to need all 3. Single 20 he has. Does he have tops? Yes, he does! And the biggest headbutt celebration of the match so far. 5-3 in a massive turning point, like you said, Dan.
Yeah, you get the feeling that could be a match-deciding visit. Ian White now has to win 3 legs on the bounce, and 2 of them are against the Suljovic throw, and Suljovic is averaging 100. It is not going to be easy to break Mensur Suljovic, let alone do it twice. Particularly when you've not managed to do it all the way through the game so far. But Ian White has been firing in the 180s, and this might be number 6. It is number 6!
Well, we've said it once, we'll say it again. 180s for door, doubles for door, and...
Sorry, what was that?
I just said that wrong, didn't I? Yeah. It's a Sunday. It's been a long 2 days. I apologise, everyone. 180s for 180s
sure. For dough. Doubles for dough. Everything for dough.
Yeah. Unless you're on an Atkins diet, of course. Yeah. 180s for sure, doubles for dough. There we go. Hashtag that.
There we go. Happy days. More importantly, 2-2-1 plays 2-2-1. Suljovic thrown first with a chance to close this out and knock out the number 7 seed, Ian White. That is as good as you're going to do to fire in his first maximum of the match to leave 41 after 9. And it appears the bookies were right to make Mensur Suljovic. Yeah.
What a leg.
He was the narrow favourite before this one started. Mensur Suljovic is averaging around about 104 at the moment. He has underlined his status as a genuine contender for this title, and look what he's left. It's the Mensur. It's the double 14, the one he doesn't miss for the match, 6-3. There it is! Mensur wins it! 11 darter. What a game of darts we've had there. Both men have averaged 104 nearly. Ian White 104.5, Mensur 103.39, but it is the Austrian who makes it through to the quarterfinals. He will face either Joe Cullen or the number 2 seed, Peter Snakebite Wright. Those two duking it out on stage in just a few moments' time here at the Happy Bet European Darts Trophy. And if Mensur plays like that all day, then he could make it not just one Euro Tour title this month, he can make back-to-back Euro Tour titles this month. He is playing very, very dangerous stuff.
Applaus für Ian Diamond White. So, der Mensur kramt noch ein paar Flights raus. Das ist gut. Da freut sich jemand. Ja, du freust dich auch. Das ist gut so. Gratuliere dir, Mensur. Das war eine hochklassige Partie, eine unheimlich intensive Partie. So habe ich sie zumindest empfunden. Für dich auch.
Ich habe gewusst, ich darf meinen Aufschlag nicht hergeben. Das war mein wichtigstes Ding. Und Jan hat immer einen Vorschlag absolut super gemacht. Er hat auch 180 gegen mich geworfen, aber ich habe 140, 140. Auf das habe ich mich wirklich fokussiert, dass ich meinen Aufschlag immer durchbringe. Sonst habe ich wirklich keine Chance.
Und trotzdem, was wir dann im 8. Leg sehen, 80 Punkte Rest, du hast diese eine einzige Chance, du musst die Doppel 20 treffen, du triffst sie zurzeit einfach auch. Das ist wirklich eine Entwicklung, die wir bei dir seit 1,5 Jahren sehen.
Ja, das ist ja keine Doppel 14er leider.
War es am Ende ja, war es am Ende ja.
Am Ende war das, aber ich habe Gott sei Dank getroffen, den Tops, aber ich übe alle Doppel. Muss ich jeden Tag das machen, wenn ich Zeit habe, und ich gebe mein Bestes.
Mensur, dir mal ein großes Kompliment. Es macht unheimlich Freude, deine Entwicklung mitzuerleben. Wir sehen uns später wieder. Mensur Suljovic!
Danke, Publikum!
Das war